Hi everybody, welcome to week 14. Sorry I'm a day late on getting this video. Yesterday and last night were just a little bit crazy, but we're better this morning. So a few things to start off. I am really looking forward to reading your portfolios. I just wrapped up another class and submitted their final grades, so I'll be looking at them this weekend, and I'm excited to see what you put together. So that'll be great. And then a couple other assignments I just want to touch base on. So this week you have your NEPD due, and you're just going to submit that as usual. Then in 2 weeks, the last week of the course, you have an NEPD and your evaluation of overall practicum goals. Okay. Even if your practicum has ended and you've gotten your 150 hours, you still have to submit that NEPD. So what you do is, if you're done with your hours, you won't have any more goals to accomplish because you're done with your hours. But what I want you to do is go to the next topic in the student comments section and just tell me something more about your practicum, something you did in your practicum, something that went well or not well with students or staff. Just fill in another one of those student comments sections. So that's for this week's NEPD and the final one if you've finished your 150 hours, okay? So you're just gonna submit those like normal. The overall evaluation of practicum goals. So that's due in 2 weeks, the last week of class. You're gonna go back to the top of your document and look at what did you put down as your practicum goals. And at the very bottom of the NEPD, there's a specific spot that says student evaluation of overall practicum goals. So I want you to go through each of your goals and talk to me about whether you met them or not, if you partially met them, if you think you benefited from your practicum. So it's worth 50 points. So I just want you to put, at least a good couple paragraphs in there. Okay, so that's kind of how the NEPD is going to wrap up. And then as you're finishing up your practicum, there are various forms that are due the last week of class, at the very end of class, like there's your preceptor's final evaluation of you, your evaluation of the preceptor. So there's a couple different kind of wrap-up end of course things that are due that last week. I try very hard at the end of the class to kind of, if students submit anything early, I try to grade it as soon as possible. So then at the end, I'll just finish up anybody who submits on that last Wednesday, and I can post your final grades as soon as possible. So I try not to make you wait too awful long to get those done. So that's where we're at with that. All right, so, and please let me know if you have any other classroom kind of housekeeping questions as we get to the end of the course. It's week 14 already. So this week we're talking about action-oriented. So many people can identify problems and say, this isn't working right, or that's not working right, or gosh, if I could, I'd change that. And to me, being action-oriented is basically getting to that point and then acting upon it. Actually, it's about being proactive. It's about following through. It's about always keeping moving in a positive direction. Always CQI ties into it. Always wanting to improve, always evaluating and moving forward. So you all have been very action-oriented in just getting your degree. I mean, that's a huge step in being action-oriented. So I'm looking forward to seeing how you guys interpret being action-oriented as a nurse educator. A couple things that come to mind is, as soon as nurse educators hear anything new coming down the pike, like anything new procedurally or equipment-wise in a facility, or maybe an updating to the accreditation standards or QSIN competencies in the academic setting, that you're kind of jumping on them, not just waiting for somebody to hand you something. Those kind of things are what I think about with action-oriented. So I'm including this week an attachment, clinical leadership plan. And we've talked about that nurse educators are change agents and leaders. No matter what setting you're in, you're going to be a leader. You're molding future nurses, continuing nurses, whatever. So this clinical leadership plan has you look at yourself a little bit in terms of essential components of being a leader. And part of that is an action-oriented attitude. So take a look at that when you have a moment. And then if you want to respond to this post about anything in there or your self-evaluation or anything you're working on, that would be great. All right, so I think that's it for this week. And we're just coming down that home stretch. Stay strong, wrap up your practicum hours, keep active in the forum, and you'll make it. It'll be great. All right, I'll see you in the main forum.